Hello, I'm Edna2, and by popular demand, I'm going to be talking about the electroscope. First off, do not watch this video unless you have already tried or attempted to use an electroscope. If you currently have Mr. Barrios, Miss Gam, or Mr. Smith from Galileo, or any other teacher from any other school, try it in class first. I have worked hard at trying it myself, and you should too. Now that I think about it, you're probably just going to ignore everything I have just said and keep on watching. Now I'm going to discuss this video under the assumption that you, the viewer, know enough physics to understand what the electroscope and what charges are. But first, here are a few notes to remind yourself a bit about what the electroscope and charges are. Note time! An electroscope is a device that can measure the magnitude of electrical charge on an object. Here we have a simplified electroscope. First off, on a side note, I have lost the original data for the old video. You remember that video that 2 years ago? That's the reason why I made this follow-up video. There'll be an annotation somewhere around this box. They'll link back to the old video without any audio or such. Point is, I have lost all the footage on that. I was horrible with keeping records of my files when I was younger. That was 2 years ago. Honestly, when I made Yu-Gi-Oh videos back then, I also was horrible with keeping files together then. I'm better now, but that doesn't change the fact that I've already lost the footage. I know it's somewhere on my hard drive. Back on topic, this simplified electroscope doesn't have any numbers or such. It'll just make a turn if there's a charge. And that dark piece in the middle is the charcoal. The reason we are using it because it's so light that when it gains a charge, it'll be able to turn, and the electrical charge will be able to support the weight of the charcoal, pretty much. Now about charges. When an object comes in contact with another object of different charges, they share electrons until they have equal charges. Protons don't move here, though. That is a horrible misconception for people who have not taken physics yet. Electrons move, while protons don't. And to determine if an object has a positive, negative, or neutral charge, if there are more electrons than protons, then has a negative charge. More protons than electrons, it's a positive charge. And if there's an equal amount of protons and electrons, it's a neutral charge, or a charge of 0. Now that I briefly gone over the electroscope, I shall show you how conduction, grounding, and induction works. First, conduction. Alright, so here I have an electroscope with 6 protons and 6 electrons for a net charge of 0, which is a neutral charge, so the charcoal doesn't turn. Now take a metal rod with a net charge of positive 4. When they touch, electrons travel between the objects until they each have the same charge of positive 2. And because there's a charge, charcoal moved as well. We take the metal away, and that is basically conduction. Now to learn about grounding. We used the electroscope that was already used in conduction. When something is grounded, electrons will move back and forth between the electroscope and the ground, pretty much. Or the person touching it. The charge will become neutral. Because technically, when a person comes in contact with an electroscope, it grounds it. So I'll ground the electroscope with a charge of positive 2, and electrons will enter it until the charge becomes 0. Or the charcoal turns back the rest. And that's grounding. Finally, there's induction. Induction is when you charge something without touching, through grounding. So here we have an electroscope with a charge of 0. Now I'll take this metal bar with a charge of positive 4, and I'll place it near the metal plate on top. Not touch it, do not let the electroscope touch the metal bar. Because they are so close to each other, it acts as if the net charge is positive 4, and the charcoal also turns. Now we will ground the electroscope. Now electrons will leave until the net charge between the metal bar and electroscope is 0. Because of this, the metal bar has a charge of positive 4, while the electroscope has a charge of negative 4. The charcoal also has gone to rest because it detects a net charge of 0. Now take the metal bar away and the charcoal turns because there's a charge of negative 4. And that is induction. So that's the basics of an electroscope. So if you like this video, like, favorite, rate, subscribe, all that social networking jazz. I am going to be sued by Epic Mealtime now. Yay! And I'll catch you next time on the interwebs. Hopefully if I keep posting videos, because I'm going to UC Merced next in a few weeks. Actually like 2 or 3 weeks. See ya.